what's up. I don't know what just happened. I don't know if you
Two
can hear
dudes.
me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's that my mic just like unplugged itself. So I don't know what's going on my end. So I'm going to be trying to figure that out as we go along. So if I disappear, I'm just
Yeah, I can't even hear. Ladies and gentlemen, we just got two dudes in wrestling tonight. You
All
good?
right.
And one has serious technical difficulties.
Yeah. So like anytime I try to add one of these slides, it disconnected. So I'm gonna try it again.
Alright,
Otherwise, we just gonna have to do it out. Let's see.
what's up?
Okay. All right. What's up?
Yo,
So how goes it?
it
How you
goes
been?
good. I've been good. How have you been? It's my last hotel episode, so I'm pretty excited for that.
Right. I've been going through the things. I've been really focusing on my breaking into the wrestling business journey.
Okay,
Because I
okay.
went to my first indie show this past weekend. And it was good. I was actually like I really enjoyed that show. I'm going to another one this Friday, so I'm starting the process of just starting to go to indie shows and meeting, promoters and other wrestlers and things like that. And I've already met like 3 or 4 different promoters here in Michigan. So I
Hell
think
yeah,
I'm off
that's
to a good
awesome.
start.
Hell yeah,
So
that's
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 that's why
perfect.
I'm also reintroducing myself as King Midas. That's the persona that I'm going to be picking up and developing over time. So whoever watches this podcast will kind of see that evolution of that character, which is why I have my golden glove on. This is just, a temporary which I can find one that's, a little better. But you got to
Got
start
you, got
somewhere.
you. You
You got to
got it.
start
You got
somewhere.
to. That's all that
So
matters.
this is the official start to King Midas. All right. I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's get into this podcast. Now we're gonna start with AW Revolution. Um, especially based off this match doesn't even matter at this point. This is a move
Exactly.
with Powerhouse Hobbs, new champ, other
Yeah, I
belt
don't
that
get
was stolen. So
I don't get the hot potato stuff. I don't get it.
right. So this match really just to me it just doesn't matter. Like it was a good match, but at the same time it was like tonight kind of negated that. So
Mm-hmm. Facts.
if I had to give it a rating, probably give it maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't
Say
a
about
bad
the same.
match, but it wasn't like, but still good.
Yeah, yeah, still good.
What are your thoughts on the match as a whole? Let's see.
About the same rating. It was decent. I saw who was gonna win. I could
Yeah.
feel it, but I definitely didn't see what happened tonight happening. Just because he had just won it on Sunday or yeah Sunday, so that's just crazy.
So
But okay.
I don't know what they're doing with Wardlow. Wardlow, if you need a manager, I got you. I got you, King Midas. I got you. Um, but yeah, it really just as somebody said, yeah, that was like the shortest TNT championship reign. What,
It's
3 days?
crazy.
2 days? 3? Something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, so then we got this match. Still, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. I kind of
Hmm.
enjoyed this match,
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining.
had a nice return with FTR at the end of it. I was hoping my boy Danhausen, my Detroit boy Danhausen would win, but it is what it is. He didn't get that title, but he did get I think this was his first pay-per-view match?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty
Because
sure it was.
I think he was on one before, but it was on the pre-show
Oh, okay.
when he was like the very evil version of himself or something.
Yeah.
But I think that was all pre-show. So I think this is his first match where it was like he was actually on the main card. So I like that. That was good.
Pretty entertaining.
My rating on it, I give it about a 7.5 out of 10. You know, it didn't steal the show, but it also didn't, it wasn't bad. So
Hell yeah, I give it about an 8 because usually sometimes in those 4-way tag team matches it gets kind of stale at a certain point, but I felt like
yeah,
the match never got stale. Like, it was
exactly.
entertaining the entire time, so
Exactly.
it's pretty good.
As I've stated on the podcast before, I don't really care about this storyline. Because I know we're at a point where in professional wrestling we're getting to the point where a lot of stuff is just rinse and repeat of things that have happened many times in the past. And this whole outsider whatever thing, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really care for it. Because I feel like this was just kind of just thrown together. So like overall, for me, this match was a 7. Like I just didn't really like. It was a good match. The story just didn't. I didn't care in the match. It was like I knew Ruby Soho was going to turn at some point. Like that was a given. Like she's WWE.
Yeah.
Of course she was going to side with Toni Storm and Saraya. Still all good performers, but I do like though that Jamie Hayter is getting that time to shine as champion. I do like that. But outside of that, I don't really care too much about the storyline. Per se. But it is what it is. Like I said, what I give it, a 7?
Something like that. Maybe a 6.5, I think you said.
6.5, 7. One of those.
Around there. Yeah.
So
I like to go a little lower because I don't care for Ruby Soho, period.
Yeah.
I never
I know she's a Michigan girl, so I like her. Yeah. I support my Michigan people, but at the same time,
Yeah, I feel you. I don't see her ever winning a championship. That's just me. I just don't care for her. And then I think it's too soon for Saraya to win a championship in AEW. So 5. It was a 5.
Yeah.
This was a really good match.
Yeah.
I was actually shocked that the Elite lost.
Yeah, I was too. They have yet to really have a truly successful title run. But at the same time, I don't think the Elite really needs it. Because, of who they are. Like, I feel like House of Black needed that just because of Buddy Murphy and Brody King. I feel like needed that, like, that title. And, Malachi Black, we always gonna like him. So that was a given. But it was really cool just to see this match as a whole. It was good. I'm gonna give this one a 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed the match. A lot of good spots. With a very unexpected ending for me. I figured House of Black was gonna win, but I didn't think they were gonna win. If that makes sense.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of knew that they were, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting it to happen. I know it's weird, but it's just one of those things where it's like, because it's the Elite. Like, you would think they would give themselves or make themselves keep the title, but I still liked it. It was an enjoyable match. What do you think?
Yeah. I go about the same 8.59. And the biggest thing that put it up there was the fact that they did lose the titles.
Yeah.
Because you knew, I figured if that backstage brawl had never happened, they probably would have had those trios titles this whole time. And,
Right.
they came back and then they had the best of 7. As soon as they announced the best of 7, like, they were going to win it in match 7. And to turn
Yeah.
around and lose it so fast is just shocking to me. I thought they would at least hold it to the summer. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But it was a good match.
So, it was a good match.
Yeah,
It
it
was
wasn't
about what
bad.
I expected it to be. I wasn't expecting, a match of the night, but I was just expecting, a good match. Like, this was a solid 8 for me. Didn't really do anything to push the needle,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it did the job of, getting Ricky Starks over more, and just showcasing how good Chris Jericho still is, being in his mid-50s, I think, early to mid-50s,
Something like that, yeah.
and it's just like he's gotten a lot slower, but it's not like to the point where it's a detriment to him.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this one was a solid 8 for me. What about you?
Yeah, I say a solid 8. It was pretty good. And I watched the entire pay-per-view with somebody that hasn't watched the AEW pay-per-view before. So when they saw Jericho, they're like, man, he's gotten fat. And I was like, you hadn't seen Jericho the last few years. He actually
Yeah,
lost a
like
lot of weight.
this is a slim down Jericho, like,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, it's crazy.
he looks good for his age, like he
Yeah,
really
definitely.
does.
Definitely
Um,
does.
so
I
yeah,
just thought
this
it was
one,
funny.
oh yeah, because like for a while I was like, Jericho, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah.
What's
You got
going on?
a little bit too much of the bubbly.
Right, you're letting yourself go. Like I know, and
He's been
Jericho's
down with
kind
the
of
sickness.
always been on the pudgy side.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this has been the best shape he's ever been in. I feel like in his since he was young, like a lot of his time in WWE, like he still was kind of pudgy. But this one, I felt like this is
Yeah.
probably the best shape he's probably ever
I
been.
think I like just looking at this picture right here. I think like he's probably like back to probably what he was when he came back to WWE in like 07. Because
Yeah,
I feel like his torso looks good with pants, but I feel like if he put the trunks back on, like he would
yeah,
look
it'll be
over
like
like pudgy. So
yeah,
especially like in the his last few years of WWE, like this few like AJ Styles and stuff, like in the trunks,
mhm,
like he did look pudgy just because he was in trunks. So I think the
yeah.
pants fit him at this time, but I
Oh
think it
yeah,
definitely looks a hell of a lot better than he did a few years ago.
for sure, for sure. I feel like I'm missing a match. We still got a few more. Texas Death Match.
Pretty good match. I mean,
Yeah.
Mox. It was a match that Mox should have bled in. So I mean, I'll give him that one.
Yeah. Like this match, yes. Do I think Mox is bleeding just a little bit too much? Yes. Do I think they should stop? Maybe. I don't think he needs to be bleeding like tonight he didn't bleed at all. So I'm like, okay, good. But it's just
That's
like
good.
where it gets to the point where it's just like a constant thing. Like I don't mind the bleeding as long as it fits what's happening. Like if he's just doing a regular match, to me, there's no point. It's not adding anything to it. But for a match like this, yes, like all the blood.
Mm-hmm.
But that aside, still a good match in my opinion. I'll probably give this one about a 9. Because it was still a very entertaining match. I will say this though. The way it ended could only have happened because John Mox, like if Adam Page was going against a person of color, that ending would have been
that would have not.
that would have
yeah.
because
That
when I
is
saw
true.
that, I was like, that couldn't have been Powerhouse Hobbs or Ricky Starks
Yeah.
now, like
Yeah.
because
that is true.
that AEW would have game over after that. Like that would have ended AEW right there.
Yeah.
In my
That
opinion,
is all
but
factual.
that ending could only have happened with a white competitor, because if it was any of there would have been a lot of questions like, you really did that? Like you had a white person hang up? No, can't do that. But
Nope.
but it was still a good. I was not expecting that ending, so that's
Yeah,
kind
me
of why
neither.
I gave it a 9, because it caught me off guard. I was not prepared for that ending. But the outside of, like I said, the blood is good, but like I just saw him bleed. But outside of that, the match was solid. Like it's a solid 9.
Because he did tap, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting Hangman to go over, but I was expecting Mox to pass out or something. I wasn't expecting a tap. So when he did tap, I was like, that's why I literally just forgot that he tapped, because I was like, did he tap? Like I was not expecting that, but yeah, it was pretty good. And definitely the one that should have won, because Mox has had all these acolytes over the last, only 3-time AEW champion, 2-time AEW champion last year. So like Hangman needed something, because he really ain't had shit since he lost the title. So because he got hurt not that long after, so he definitely needed that win.
Wasn't he supposed to go on vacation? Like when is that vacation?
Moxley, I don't know. Maybe it could be.
He was supposed to go on vacation, but now it's not happening. But yeah, solid 9. But let's get the controversy out of the way.
Oh snap! What's the controversy?
How do you feel about him throwing the water or tequila on the kid?
Oh yeah, I mean that's fucked up. Like if it was my kid, I'd have been pissed. But I mean it's the heel, and then they brought the kid. What was it? Powerhouse Hobbs brought the kid backstage after.
Yeah. What's her name's wife? Brody Lee's wife.
Okay. So I think that makes it worth it,
Yeah.
But he's just playing the part.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna just throw out, it's if you go to SeaWorld and you sit in the front row, you might get a little water on you. I'm just saying. I'm not condoning it, but I'm just it goes with the territory. I remember when I was a kid once, and while it wasn't him throwing beer on me, I saw Sandman, do his entrance, and when he did the little thing where he, does it and he spits the beer out, I was right under him. I got a little Sandman spitting beer in my mouth, and I'm just like, I was a kid. I was a kid at the time, so that's why I'm just like, it comes with comes with the territory. Do I condone it? No.
Yeah.
But from my personal experience,
you're close. Something might happen. Did you see the lady that had the sign during the Texas death match that said it was like, "Hey Mox, it's my birthday. Come bleed on me" or some shit?
No, but
yeah, it was like she was holding it the whole time, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Like we just gonna come over and be like,
expect anything if you're at ringside. So,
but again, do I condone it? No.
I didn't even catch that until after the fact. So going into this match, it was, I think you're on Eastern time right now. You're on Eastern time, right? Yeah. So it was about 10:30 when this match started. So I was at my buddy's house. I still had to drive 30 minutes back here, and then I still had to wake up at 4 a.m. So as soon as this match started, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and drive home, and I'm gonna catch because in an Iron Man match, you get a lot of good parts, but it only really matters like the last 10 minutes."
Yeah.
So I already knew in the last 10 minutes it was going to be close, and it was all going to come down to like a tie, and and Daniel Bryan was going to have MJF in a submission hold, and it was either he's going to tap and Bryan wins, or he's not going to tap. Decision goes with the champion. So I know more showed up and that happened, but then when they restarted the match, but I was like, Daniel Bryan's not going to win the title. Like MJF just won the title. Like why would he lose it already? So I completely missed that. I didn't see that part. I just saw it online. I think like the day after that he even did that. So, but I was like, damn. But I think I saw that they brought. I saw it at the same time, like that happened, and then they brought him backstage. I didn't see like, oh, this happened, and then later on I saw they brought him backstage. I saw it at the same time, so I was kind of like, comes with the territory.
Yeah. So again, I'm not condoning water being thrown on a kid or to whatever it was. I'm just saying things happen. I I got a little Sandman spitting beer in my mouth, so I mean, it is what it is. Things happen. I know Sandman's wasn't intentional, but the kid did get some cool swag and got to go backstage and all of that. So maybe he knew what he was doing. Maybe MJF knew that this was going to draw that kind of attention, and maybe it was a gift to the kid.
Yeah.
Let me throw this on you so you can get to go to the back.
Maybe. Hey, maybe
Who
they could. They could have
perspective.
They could have told them before the event, like, "Hey, he's gonna do this to
Yeah.
you, but guess what? We're gonna bring y'all backstage, mama. So don't kill us."
Yeah. So who knows? Only they truly know the conversations that happen. But at this point, I just assume anything that MJF says and does is part of the work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because everything is just MJF has been a masterclass of just it's the work. Like he will stay in character. Everything he does is part of the storyline, and I'm here for it. I can't remember if you were on the podcast when I said this. About how I feel like MJF is in the early stages of being this generation's Ric Flair.
No, I wasn't here for that.
Yeah, because he was when he was cutting that promo on Bryan Danielson a few weeks back when he was talking about his kids or whatever. He had this look on his face, and I'm like, that's Ric Flair right there. Like that's that same Ric Flair look, like when he get that crazed look in his eye when he going ham on the mic on somebody. And I'm like, MJF is in those early stages of being this generation's Ric Flair, just being that ultimate heel that everybody loves to hate, but they still love him.
Yeah,
he's definitely going to be that caliber of an athlete. No matter which promotion he's in, he's going to be this generation's Ric Flair, and I'm standing 100% by that statement. But overall, I'm going to give this match a solid 9.5. This was a really good match, and it really showcased because somebody pointed out on Twitter, we don't see it a lot because he doesn't show it a lot, but MJF is a phenomenal wrestler. He is great in the ring, and I like how he doesn't show it every week. Like when we see Bryan Danielson, it's every week. We like, okay, we know he's the best. But with MJF, it's like, is he really good in the ring? And then he gets in the ring, and we're just like, he's really good in the ring. And so, and that's one of the reasons why he's my favorite wrestler right now. Is everything is working for him, like everything. He's the biggest to me. Like for me, he's bigger than Roman because with Roman, it's the entire bloodline that makes Roman. With MJF, it's just MJF. MJF didn't need Jimmy and Jay and Sammy and Paul Heyman to get him over. Now, Roman has gotten a lot better, but this version of Roman, I feel like, is the way it is because of everybody that's with him. It's like, it's the bloodline, so it's all, one unit. But with MJF, and again, this is just my opinion, with MJF, he's doing it by himself. Yes, he had the Pinnacle. I didn't see any of that, so I can't speak on that. I'm speaking on what I've seen. I saw some of the Pinnacle, but I came in right around the time that it was ending. When MJF was kind of on his own, but this past year, all of what MJF has been doing has been on his own. And so that's why he's my favorite right now in AEW. So yeah, this match for me was a solid 9, 9.5. What about you?
I'll roll with that one just for the fact that I didn't see the whole match. But I mean, I'm sure there was definitely
Yeah,
some
yeah, it was
damn good
good.
spots in the 50 minutes that I did not watch. So sure it was good. No, was he
Now,
on? I didn't catch Dynamite. Was he on there today? The MJF.
um, no, I don't think so.
Okay, 'cause I saw Daniel Bryan. They showed that he was talking about something, or
Yeah, they
what did he
had
talk
like
about?
a little backstage promo that
Hmm.
MJF cut on last after Sunday, but he wasn't physically there. No.
Okay, okay.
Now I probably already know the answer to this. But did you watch Roadblock last night?
No, I didn't.
Um, oh my God, Roadblock was so good. That
Really?
was one of the better NXTs that I've seen. To me, that was NXT OG NXT level show. Like it was solid matches. It was some, of course, there was some questionable things, but what show doesn't have questionable things? No show I
Yeah.
think is ever going to be truly 100% perfect, but it was a solid NXT. And I guess I'll explain some of the stuff what's happening,
Okay, please
feuds
do.
and things like that, just so people are kind of aware what's going on, especially going into um, WrestleMania and WrestleMania and NXT Stand and Deliver. So first, I'll start with I don't even remember what the first match was, but I'll just start with this one: Dijak versus Tony D'Angelo in a jailhouse street fight. It was essentially, a casket match. Put him in a jail cell, lock it. This was
Oh,
a
okay.
solid match. Um,
Oh shit! Hold on. We did. Speaking of that, we did miss a match. Since you said something, lock it.
but
The
oh yeah,
it was pretty
right,
good though.
right.
The Christian Jungle Boy match.
Yeah,
That
yep.
was pretty
I
damn
knew
good.
there was one, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that
that
one.
was
That
good.
one
That was
gets a
good. That
solid.
opened, didn't it?
I
That
think
was a
so.
good
Yeah,
opening match. Yeah, that
that
was
was
pretty good.
a solid 8.5 for me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I
I,
roll with that
I
too. That
really
was
enjoyed
good.
that match, and it was a good way to hopefully end this feud. And I love that Luchasaurus didn't interfere at all. Like this was
Yeah, same.
just between.
I thought it was gonna happen when he put Christian in the thing and he sat there for so long and stared at him. I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, somebody's gonna come out, but yeah, I'm glad that
I
that
think they
ended
did
like
that
it
to kind
did.
of throw us off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was good.
But
All right, now we can move on.
yeah, I'm glad because I could not remember, but yeah, this match was pretty good. It was a shorter match because they did a lot of setting up overall for Stand and Deliver.
Okay, okay.
And so these two have been kind of feuding these past few weeks because Dijak, when he came down, he's kind of like his whole gimmick is like he's bringing justice back to NXT or whatever.
Hmm.
And Tony D'Angelo is the Don of NXT, so organized crime, mafia,
Hmm.
all that jazz. But Tony D'Angelo really solidified himself as one of my favorite wrestlers down at NXT when he first came out because he was in the War Games match, and I'm just like, I like this guy. Like
Hmm.
whatever it is he has, I think he'll be top on the mid card while also at least winning a major championship at least once or twice in his career.
Hmm.
Um, but he's going to be a solid force to be reckoned with in the mid card, and I don't think I've ever seen a bad match from or a bad performance from Tony D'Angelo. Um, so I really enjoyed this match. Um, I won't really do ratings as much because since you didn't see it, this is more just an explanation of what happened that night. Um,
Okay, okay.
so this one was a solid match. This one was also a solid match. I am very, very high on the Creed brothers. Um, these guys are going to dominate in the tag division once they get to the main roster. These guys are so good. And when I first saw them, I was like, they look not like weird in the sense of like they look weird, but just like they seem like just straight up the collegiate, wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I just thought that their style was going to be that very much Matt type of wrestling. No, these guys, they're big dudes and they do stuff that little dudes do. And I'm like, I really like these guys, especially Brutus right here, because Julius is the one with his mouth closed, and Brutus is the one with his mouth open. But Brutus, like, he has this move. It's like a cannonball. So he'll like literally throw himself at somebody, but like curl up in the ball. And I'm just like, I love that. And of course, Bron Breakker. Yeah. Like I said in the podcast last week, I feel like when Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker come up, one is going to be on SmackDown and one is going to be on Raw. And whichever one they're on, they're going to dominate that show. They're going to be like that focal point on because they're both main event caliber wrestlers. And this during that night after this match, which Bron Breakker and the Creed brothers won against Indashir and Jinder Mahal, but Bron Breakker came out and issued a challenge to Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver, which they've been teasing that for the past almost 2 years now. It's crazy to think NXT 2.0 has been around almost 2 years now.
That's crazy.
Like that's like end of 2021, I think they started.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So those two guys definitely going to be top tier caliber. And I love how we know that Bron Breakker is Rick Steiner's son, but he's not using the Steiner name to solidify his place. He's using his own talent. And I got mad respect for that.
But I got one thing. You mentioned NXT and you mentioned years, so it led me to something I saw on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see the statistic about Roderick Strong?
I did. He's been in NXT
longer than Nitro was even the show, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I think at some point he'll get called up. And I was talking to my and I know I've said this a few times on the podcast, but I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and I was saying how we are at a point in time in WWE where it is all NXT with a few holdouts from the Vince McMahon era. Your Randy Ortons, your Chad Gable. No, Chad Gable wasn't NXT. Never mind. Otis was too.
American Alpha.
Yeah. But a lot of those people, there's more people from NXT on the main roster right now than there was just regular WWE people. Because Roman, Seth, Bianca, Rhea, Liv,
yeah.
Shayna.
Well, I mean, the thing about that is, like, it's completely understandable because, like, unless you're a big name, you're not coming to WWE and going straight to the main roster. Like, AJ's done that. I mean, even the Good Brothers did that, but not many people are doing that. So
exactly,
it's not crazy to even think that most of the roster is from NXT.
Yeah.
But it's
even
cool.
Even some of the newer, like when the new people from NXT come up, like the people who are down there now. And again, this is why I say people need to watch NXT because all of these guys are going to be the future of WWE, and they have done so good with instantly appearing on TV without really being nudged into it. It was like, here's NXT 2.0. Now you're on TV. Don't fuck up. And I haven't really seen anybody truly mess up. And there's only been one set of releases so far because they said you have 2 years, and if you don't improve in those 2 years, you're gone. And I think that's fair because that means this is true developmental. right now NXT truly feels developmental while being a solid brand to watch right now. And I'm thoroughly impressed by a lot of these people, including everybody here. We've already seen the two in the back, the one with the hood and the long hair next to Ava Rain, or just Ava now. They're the grizzled young veterans, so they've been around for a while, but they're still, they're from NXT UK, then came over. But Joe Gacy, Andre Chase, Thea Hale, and I don't know why I'm blanking on his name back. Duke Hudson. All solid performers. They are all great. I like I said before, I thought that Andrew Chase was going to be, and Chase University was going to be the dumbest gimmick I have ever seen in my life. That man made it work. And to the point where he has, when you can get an arena to chant your move or whatever. So he has the how you're in college, you're cheerleading, you spell the school or whatever. So he has the stomp. So while they're laying on the mat, he goes around them. He goes CHASEU. What's that spell? Chase. And I'm just like, yeah. Because when they did it at when they were on the road at the last premium live event they had, that was like a arena of like 8,000 people. Everybody was chanting that. Yeah. And I'm like, that's how you know that you're over, is once they start, when they truly get into what you're, the whole chase, when they get into that, to me, you've successfully done your job. And then Joe Gacy, he's a great wrestler. He is a phenomenal wrestler. I didn't like him at first because I just felt like, oh, this is another Bray Wyatt. But once he got Schism and kind of made the Wyatt family, it just worked. It clicked, and I like it. So this match was a really good match. And it really just progressed the storyline right now that Chase U, the focus with Duke Hudson is saying is the focus isn't really on winning, it's trying. And like Andre Chase has lost a lot of matches recently, but it was a solid match. Check them out. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. Going from Toxic Attraction to where they are now, I think these two. I wasn't really big on JC Jane because for the longest I couldn't remember her name to save my life. But now I remember it, so that means she's doing something. If I can remember your name, you're doing something. But if either one of you need a manager, call your boy. I got you. I got you. But this was a solid match. It was a grudge match because JC turned on Gigi, so Gigi is the face now. Because remember with the door incident where I don't think it was planned that she was going to kick her head. I guess the door was supposed to give, but it didn't give. So she took a platform boot to the face. And I'm like, props to you, girl, because I would have been like, nah. I need an ice pack or something. But yeah, she took that kick like a champ, and I see these two going places in WWE. Which one? Here we go. Roxanne Perez versus Miko Satomura. Have you ever seen Miko Satomura wrestle before? Because she's been around for decades. She used to wrestle in WCW. Then went back over to Japan. So she is a very respected wrestler. And I think she's down in NXT as a coach primarily. I could be wrong though, because I don't really see her like having too many championship reigns, but I do see her helping to develop that talent. And Roxanne Perez, again, I'm always gonna give her flowers because she's phenomenal. She is great in the ring, great on the mic. And I love the fact that right now Booker T is on commentary while she is champion because they kind of have that father-daughter, teacher-student type of relationship where last night after the match, Roxanne Perez like collapsed, a la Shawn Michaels in the past. And I was waiting for it. I was like, Booker, you gotta help sell this. You gotta get in the ring. You have to. And when Booker got up, took the headphones off, and then got in the ring, I was like, that really, because once he did that, I almost shed a tear. Like it was in the tear duct. It was right there. Like I know this is just story, but that was masterful storytelling in my opinion. And I was like, the only way that could have happened is Booker T getting in the ring to check on his little girl. Because that is, I think she is one of Booker T's most successful students. Being, she was the Ring of Honor Women's Champion last year. And a year later, all these accomplishments in NXT. So I cannot wait to see what she does on the main roster. Because once she hits it, whew, people better watch out because it's like that's just a ball of talent. When they say she's a prodigy, she's a prodigy. And this clown right here, I do not like Grayson Waller at all. But that means he's doing his job. Because I hate the man. I despise Grayson Waller. But he's doing his job as a heel. And he's kind of been upset with Shawn Michaels recently because he's been losing matches, but he's blaming Shawn Michaels for like holding him back. Like I guess Shawn Michaels praises everybody else, but won't praise him or something like that. So Grayson Waller challenged after saying he told Shawn Michaels that the only reason that he's in his position in Gorilla right now is because Triple H had a heart attack.
Damn.
Right? And I was like, ooh, shit. But yeah, so at Stand and Deliver, he's not fighting Shawn Michaels, but he brought back Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano is going to fight Grayson Waller because I don't know if you remember, but Grayson Waller attacked Johnny Gargano his last day in WWE before his contract expired.
Oh, that was what sent him away. Okay.
Yep. And so they're going to cap off that feud. So I'm excited for that because I was hoping that would happen. And then they also, Dragon Lee showed up. He didn't wrestle, but he was in the audience. So he finally made his appearance in NXT. But that was Roadblock. It was a solid like weekly pay-per-view type thing because that was a pay-per-view level show. And it was really good in my opinion. I'm actually surprised that both of those took up the majority of our time.
I was just about to say I hate to attribute to probably cutting this show short early, but I'm about to get off here in a minute, and then you're not going to spend like 15 minutes. I mean, you could talk about how good of a manager you're going to be with your
right.
For 15 minutes. But I do have to go. But I did want to say I completely forgot my highlight of the night at Revolution. It's kind of crazy.
Hold on, is this your moment of the week?
Yeah, but so it's got nothing to do with Revolution. It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
So I told you I watched it with somebody's never watched AEW pay-per-view before. So we started on the pre-show, and then the first thing they had the 6-man tag or whatever. So Mark Briscoe came out, and my buddy was like, "Okay, he's a tag team champion, but where's his partner?" And I was like, "Hey, we was watching the match. We was watching the match, and I was like, yeah, we're not watching this match." So I went back and we watched Final Battle, FTR versus the Briscoes, and it hits different when you watch that match after the fact. But that was definitely
And
the highlight of the whole night for me was rewatching that.
I'll say this though, because we can end it early, but this is the reason why I am so afraid now to miss anything, because I regret not watching Ring of Honor. I regret not watching Mark and Jay Briscoe throughout their career, because after watching their few matches together and then just watching Mark Briscoe recently, Mark Briscoe is literally one of my new favorite wrestlers right now. And it brings a tear to my eye to know I missed 20 years roughly of his career. And I can't get that back. So at this point, I'm watching watching as much as I can, because I said to myself when they were at hold on. They were at Warrior Wrestling.
Hey, guys in the back in the truck, 46 minutes, 40 seconds.
They were at Warrior Wrestling, and I was going to go because I was like, I don't know when I'll ever get to see the Briscoes wrestle again. I'm kicking myself in the ass for not driving out to Chicago to see them live, because I said I may never get that opportunity again. And then what happened, and that made it hurt even more, because I finally saw how great the Briscoe brothers were or are. Then Jay was taken away from us, and never again. Even if I'm going to go back and watch old matches with those guys. If I have to get Honor Club, I'm getting Honor Club, because I want to see just how great these two are. And I saw that they had a match versus each other. I need to see that.
Yeah, I think that was like supposedly the last match of Ring of Honor before Tony bought it, when they didn't really know what was going on in the company. Yeah, I think that's what that was.
Okay,
but
so I definitely gonna see that. But folks, that was we're ending it a little early tonight. That was
two of us drug it along as much as we could. Hey, we filled it up though. I didn't think
we did
was gonna fill it up, because I didn't know NXT was being talked about. So when we were done with Revolution at about the 25 minutes, I was like, oh shit.
And it's a good thing my job is talking. That's why I'm gonna be a good manager, because my job is talking. I can talk my ass off, and I can talk anybody and anything up. Remember that. King Midas. Anyway, but this has been 4 Dudes Minus 2 and Wrestling. We will catch you guys next